judges has the burden of proof and have to prove beyond the reasonable doubt that those constitutional clauses have been breached.
Yes.
And if she puts and mounts up a proper defense in regards to the same, she has room to navigate. But if the MCAs this time around are able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that these constitutional clauses have been breached in the manner that they are actually portraying, then definitely she has a way home.
when she goes to the entire plenary session, we do know how sanctions are conducted.
Yes.
I mean, for the very first time now, if you want to lobby for or against an impeachment, you have that chance to do so. This time around, when they're essentially talking, today they're going to start talking about it. Tomorrow they're going to vote on it. I mean, it becomes a motion in the National House,
which we've always seen how they vote, and that's where corruption and all these other things take place, and then it end up denying the citizens' sovereignty. Sometimes the bureaucracy around this simple concept, which actually should allow the citizen to enjoy, because to me, is one day at a time. Tomorrow is not a promise. If leadership is not performing, you cannot experiment with the people. And experimenting like right now, even with our education system, with our health system. Let me tell you, the moment you make mistakes, people die. They'll not be there even to fight for themselves. So those who are rising up to defend, and blessed are those who would actually defend the rights of the weak and the vulnerable, they are saving so many. And I would actually ask them not to stop. If there are any wheel of injustice that is rolling in our country, then we need to confront it as soon as possible, if possible today, so that we have an opportunity to make amends tomorrow. So the process of rendering justice to the citizen needs to be simple. It doesn't have to be complex. And the Senate should be awoke to that. Actually, it's not a subjective matter. They must remain objective to the Constitution and make sure that this process provide the citizen, because impeaching a governor in this country has been very difficult before. We've seen various cases of Makueni. Remember the Kivuta Kibwana case, how it went. Of course, the successful one was Waititu and Sonko.
Yes.
And then those few instances we saw also how the power played, because where the pressure was coming from. Because those other cases, I think also the state house also had, the national executive had hands in influencing the lobbies and all those things. Yes. Would also like to see the direction even the executive right now is taking.
Yes.
And it will be a precedent whether they handle the citizen sovereignty according to, in respect to the rights of the citizen. But if they subjugate themselves, these arrogances they normally do, be exposed to inducement because of lack of strength to withstand financial influence, then they know, because corruption corrupts good moral, and corruption actually is a major destruction that actually has brought down various countries, not just ours.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are standing and watching out on how the MCAs would prosecute the case.
Yes.
If they're able to prosecute beyond reasonable doubt, then our chances will be very slim.
I mean, but let's look at it in entirety, Juma, just before we take a break and then come back and talk about the other issues that are also surrounding other governors in the country, as much as impeachment or running of the county government is concerned. Even that Senate, it's the same Senate, by the way. We've not crossed into a new term, so she goes back again, where you find that the other different senators now sit there listening to that case. It's the same senators, by the way, who listened to the first impeachment bid, who are going to listen now to the second one. The fact that it is the second time it's coming in less than 2 years for them, is that a fact for them to also say, hold on, there has to be a special case here for us to look into. Does that make it special? And even if there's a case that is coming to you in less than 2 years, whose fault does it become? What do you lean your judgment towards?
Well, as a judge, I would treat every scenario independently. And
Will you say so?
Of course. But there's that, element of that prejudice of we've gone through this and those historical factors.
Yes.
Because presidents actually normally stand in our jurisprudence. So I would urge the judges or the senators to remain objective and treat even this case independently, as it will be.
As it will stand, isn't it?
Yes, that will be submitted.
There's a special factor here that we have to look at. I mean, when it comes to voting in the Senate,